Now we're here at Lá Fhéile Bríde and I'm delighted to welcome Mrs. Moore, Anne Gardner and Leila, and they're locals here, and Mrs. Moore was principal to the local school in Raheshkin, and she has a lot to tell us about the Brigid swell here at Kilfian. So Mrs. Moore, can you tell us any of the stories that you heard or when you were growing up around here? What St. Brigid meant to you, or any stories or folklore around it?
Well, St. Brigid's well meant a lot to us. It was in the centre of the village. I lived down at the end of the village, about 400 yards or so, and the school was about the same length up the road. So I would be going up and down every morning. Usually there'd be about 10 of us, children, going to school. We'd be messing and talking and laughing and all the rest of it. But when we'd come to the well, we stood, looked in at the well, at the statue, and blessed ourselves reverently and went off to school then. But on the way home we had lots of time. We were in no rush. And we usually came down, it's in a secluded place, like kind of. So we came down, looked into the well, prayed. They used to say that there was a trout in the well, and that if your request would be granted, you might see the trout. Now we spent lots of time looking in, but we never saw the trout. But a lot of our prayers and requests were answered, so that was so much. And then we would go away from the well and up and down again and all that. But I visited it very often, and lots of people came. People that would be home from America and from England and from places like that, they would religiously come to the well for to pray and to have the requests asked for and all that. And they used to do the stations as well. See around here, you have the rounds.
Station 1, Station 2 and Station 3.
Yes.
Okay.
When a few people would come together, or maybe 10 or 12 or more sometimes, would all gather together and kneel at the front of the well first and say the creed and 7 Our Fathers and 7 Mary's and 7 Glories and that, and go round the well 3 times.
Right.
Then go to the first mound, the same prayers, round it again 3 times, then to the second, same thing, and to the third, same thing, and then maybe say the rosary to finish off. You know, everyone was very religious in that way, very good at saying prayers, and you would never pass a blessed well or a cemetery or a church without, you know, and if it chanced to be the time for the Angelus, the bell might ring from the church, and you might hear the bell ringing. Well, no matter what, we stood and said the Angelus. You know? So things were very
different now.
Very different that time from what they're now, but probably the people might be nearer to God now at the same time, or as near, I think.
Yeah.
So
you still have that tradition of people coming here to celebrate Mass or do the station?
Usually on the 1st of February, weather permitting, the Mass is here. It wasn't last year now. And then during the summer again, maybe around the 15th of August, it's a good time. And the people would gather from all around. A lot of people would come. And the cars would be parked up and down the road. And some people would sit in the cars, of course, if the day wasn't good. And Mass would be, and the priest has a tent, kind of a tent done that he could be in, you know, if it wasn't a very nice day, and say the Mass there.
And I see people would leave scapulas and rosary beads and coins in the well, so that's part of the tradition.
When we'd look into the well, we never saw the trout, but loads of coins in the well where people would throw in a coin if the request was granted, or maybe hoping that the request would be granted, you know. So it was a very, very, well, I don't know what to call it, famous, but everybody round about liked it. And when they come home on holidays from wherever they be, the first place was to St. Brigid's Well.
St. Brigid's
Well. Great regard for St. Brigid.
And I see there it was renovated in 1932.
Yes, that was 1932. It was renovated and done up. The well was always there, of course.
Yes.
You know, and it was tradition had it that St. Brigid passed this way.
Great.
And people always said that, and that's why it was St. Brigid's Well. It was Lá Fhéile Bríde then all the time, you know, our bride's well.
Okay.
And but then the priest then, it was Eucharistic Congress year, and the priest said from the altar, one Sunday that it was time to do up the well.
Okay.
And he said anybody that was willing to help to stay for a month at the door in the chapel. And they did. A lot of people waited, and they came and they built the little wall. You see
Right,
the wall
yeah.
around here.
Lovely.
That wasn't in it before that, but they built the wall and they put up the statue and all that. The statue wasn't in it until that time either.
Okay.
And it's written there, I think, where it was renovated.
Yeah.
And then later on in 1990, we had celebrations in the parish because the school up the road was 100 years old.
All right.
So they got together for the well as well. The young people that time, they